Good morning, everybody. This is Goose here with the Anonymous Traders, coming at you again with the next installment of my Benzinga Pro workshop. It's been a while, so I do apologize. Had a couple busy weeks with work. Haven't been able to get back with you guys. Uh, we've got two videos so far. We went over the news feed and a quick overview of the dashboard itself. Those are in the Benzinga Pro playlist if you'd like to review those. Also, hit like, subscribe, all that jazz. I'm not going to really pump myself too big there. Let's get into it. So we're going to go over the detail screen today, and that's what you're looking at here on my screen here. This is the detail screen that you see. This would be the overview. So the detail screen, I have it on a research page, but I also have it in my main, kitchen sink, which is my main page. You see a detail screen here, so that when I'm going through the news feed, I can click it and it populates whatever I'm clicking. It'll populate that for me. Uh, but I also have a research tab because I like to have a much larger view if I'm looking at a stock on just the weekend or something, just doing some quick research on it. I also have a research tab on my phone. Uh, it works better on your phone to have everything separated in one workspace because they really don't have a mobile app. I'll get into that later. But anyway, this is the details page. This is the overview. We'll go over pretty much everything we got here. So at the top, you got your bar to type in symbol, security name, or fund. You can type the name of a company, and it'll bring it up. So if you don't know the ticker, you can type in Remark Holdings, and it's going to bring it up for you like that, and then you can click on it. So the why is it moving is missing. It was there just a minute ago. It must have reset, but they'll have a why is it moving. So Wimmy, yesterday had a really nice day. Something I've been talking about for a long time, and it finally took off of those PRs that it does. So, but you can actually view my buddy Derek Brown. He's got a YouTube channel. He's also with the Anonymous Traders, so check him out. But he made a Winnie case study last night, so go ahead and check that out. And he'll do a deeper dive as well. But it's something I've had on my watch list for a while. So anyway, let's stop rambling here, going off on a tangent. So anyway, it has a why is it moving up here when something's moving, okay? And it'll tell you, you know, why is it moving, so to speak. Other things you might see up there is something like this, conference call. So this is where the why is it moving would be. It'd be like a little subheader here, but conference call scheduled in 3 days for their earnings. It says their earnings are confirmed. That's when the conference call is. You can actually go over here to the bar over here when you see these and see the call details. It immediately brings up the call. It's a quick way to get to it. You can do that through the calendar as well, but it's a quick way to get to it. See the estimates? Same way. It's going to give you the earnings estimates. It's just a quick way to get to that if that information is there. Uh, they don't do that if it's unconfirmed because they don't have the conference call information yet, and they won't have the estimations yet usually if the earnings is unconfirmed. So anyway, um, this is the overview screen. You also have the add to watch list here if you want to add it to a watch list that you've created. Um, you can do that there. You can pop it out just like any of the other tools with that up arrow or whatever diagonal arrow there. You got your price, your exchange, and how it's been performing for whatever session it happens to be in right now. Then you got your overview. You've got your chart here that you can quickly change between 1 day, 2 day, which I really really like. I don't have to mess with the chart. Usually when I'm trying to find if something's priced in or if I'm looking at some sort of chart patterns, I can pretty much get it through all of this. I like it on 2 day for my general chart though. And then if you scroll, well, we'll scroll down, but you see over here is also the key data and some information about the quotes, company industry average, all that good stuff. You've got plenty of information about the company on this side. It's going to be ordered a little bit differently. Like I said, if you're looking at a smaller screen, it might not be set up this way. Like on my phone, it doesn't turn out this way. But yeah, you can scroll down. Got some more information down here. General information about the company. And then your news feed is all on the main overview. And from that overview, you can still click on the SEC filings, press releases, BZ Wire, which is the Benzinga BZ signal. So if it's doing any halts or price spikes or something, that'll pop up in there. And then partner news is where there might be mentioning a partner of Benzinga in their news as well. So that's the overview tab here on the detailed screen, but you can go much deeper. So if you click on news, you'll get just the news, a nice big feed of the news. And this can go back as far as it needs to go back, really. End of news feed, I'm not sure why that's the end of the news feed for this, but I've done, there's other tickers that I've gone back 2010, pretty far back on the news. So it might be just because WIMI's IPO opened in 2020, and the company's been around since 2017, but this may be the first time that any news popped up for this company. Not really sure. But it'll allow you to go way back, as far back as Benzinga has been doing it or using it. So you can click through again, just like you could on the overview, all the different types of news if you want to filter it down a little bit. And they've got transcript summaries at the end over here, which was not on the overview page, but transcript summaries. If they have a conference call with a transcript or something, it'll appear in here after that's done. I'll give you an example. March should have it. No, they did post the transcript, so I'm not sure why it's showing up in here. It may take a time to actually show up in the news feed, but they did post the transcript. Let's see if we can find one that would have it. So there you go, but that's 2017. Obviously, they've had a lot more transcripts than that, so I'm not sure why other ones are not showing up. They do pop up in the news feed, though, the transcripts, so you can usually get it through the news feed. You see right here, earnings call transcript. Oh, that's a partner link, so you would have to actually go to that partner. It's probably, if I had to guess, Seeking Alpha as their transcript. So it might be that Benzinga just doesn't have the transcript yet. I'm going to actually do feedback on that later and let them know that needs to be something that's a little bit more updated and kept up with. So go back to WIMI. Really like WIMI right now. So that's the news tab, and then you've got the calendar tab, which is going to get you a lot deeper than that. Conference calls, okay. You know what? Yeah, actually, let's go to a ticker that's going to have a bunch of this here. Okay, so conference calls, dividends. Okay, so you can see Apple is a dividend company at 4, so that's quarterly. If it's monthly, it'll say 12. If it's yearly, it'll say 1. You got your yield percentage here. Okay, something that you can keep up with. And the yield percentage used to be really high yield percentage, and this is amazing. These numbers there, yield percentage. I mean, that's ridiculous. So it's got all the dividend information though. And then you go to the earnings. It's got all your earnings information. This goes back a long way, as you can see, 2012 on the bottom down there. I believe that's about when Benzinga started. So it doesn't go back further than that. But you can use, some other sites, quickfs.net, for instance, to go back 20 years on financials. More on that later as well. I will create videos on that, or other tools that I might use. You can click on guidance, so anytime they put out guidance, it's going to be listed in here as well. Guidance is really important, likes to move a stock, so that'll be interesting, listed there. IPOs, I don't think we're going to see any for Apple. Let's see if the Winnie IPO shows up here. Surprisingly, it doesn't, so I'm not exactly sure why that doesn't show up in there. Let's see. This was an IPO that just opened. Maybe it needs to be a private company. I don't have any off the top of my head. But it might be that once it's already public, it doesn't show it in here anymore. I'm not sure. I've never really used the IPOs tab too much. I am interested in IPOs, like LMNB. Could have made a lot of money off of it when that IPO broke. But I like IPOs because that's a company that I'm going to be interested in. If they felt like it was time to go public, they must have something going on, right? So anyway, let's get back here. We got IPOs, mergers and acquisitions. So you're going to see mergers and acquisitions listed in here where they've got your target and different information about them. Secondary offerings, if they've ever done any secondary offerings. Look at Apple, man, that's crazy. It's going to show up in here. Analyst ratings. You get all their analyst ratings. Again, going back as far as it can go back, man. So Apple's got a ton of analyst ratings. But it's a good way to keep up with everything. You can really deep dive into a company using all of these tools on the detail screen. So retail sales, I would think that would be filled for Apple. I'm not sure. SEC filings you can go through and look at all their SEC filings. It's got all the different information that you would need on that. Splits, if they've had any forward to one splits or reverse splits, it's going to show up in here. And you can find out more information on that as well. Different things. You can adjust the columns and stuff like that on all of these tools as well. There's not much you can do, but yeah. They're going to have different information for your columns depending on which tab you're on. Then you can click on chart. This is a chart brought in by TradingView. So if you're familiar with TradingView charts, you'll be familiar with this. It looks almost the exact same. It does not have the total integration, but it's pretty close. I gotta say, I wish Benzinga would do their own charting system. I think it slows down the charting a little bit. Not the real-time charting necessarily, but I think it just slows down when you're trying to click on the chart and load it up for the first time. It seems to sometimes take a little bit, and that's because probably it's bringing it in from TradingView. So I use charting on Benzinga because it's 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. It works real well for me, but there's many other options out there for charting. You don't have to use Benzinga Pro. Anyway, so you've got all your different options in here for charting. You've got your different time frames that you can go through, different type of candles. You can compare tickers. Okay, so if I wanted to compare Apple to Microsoft, so there you go. You can compare Apple to Microsoft. You can actually see how they move very similar to each other. Makes sense, right? So that's why we call out sympathy plays and peers. There's actually peers up here, but that's why we call out sympathy plays in the chat room. There's a lot of stocks like to move together. So one stock gets some news, even though the other stock didn't get any news, you'll see some similar price action. So that's a good way to how do I click off this right here. So you can get rid of the Microsoft up here with the X. You can get rid of the volume. You can see the volume overlay down here at the bottom. I don't have it really adjusted, but you can change settings on it from here. Okay, you can get your MA length, for your moving average, and all that kind of stuff, and your style. You can change all that, and you can get rid of it if you don't want volume. Boom, no volume. You can add tons of different indicators. Okay? EMA cross is nice. Double EMA. Those are nice. Is CCI in here? I'm not sure if it is. Yeah, Commodity Channel Index. Great, great tool. MACD, moving average with EMA cross. Very nice one. The weighted moving average is nice. Similar to VWAP. And then VWAP moving average. Those two are nice to use together as well. Similar to using EMA cross, death cross, golden cross type stuff. So you got all the chart indicators you'd like to use. You got all your drawing tools if you want to use anything like that. I don't use all that. I don't mess around with that stuff too much, but I know a lot of people like to. And, so some people that are more familiar with the TradingView chart system might actually be able to go through all these and tell you more about it, but that's just not something I really focus on. But it does have all those different options, scales. You can change the background, time zone sessions. You can change that. Session breaks. You can change that. So you've got a bunch of different options that you can do, and you can pop it out with this. Go to full screen mode on the chart. Boom. Press escape. You can go right back out. So it's got great charting. I just don't think the integration. I think they need to come up with their own charting system. You got financials. You got the balance sheets. You can go with quarterly or annual, and it goes back a good ways. It could go back much further than that. I'm not sure why it doesn't. That seems like it should go back much further on Apple. But either way, you can look at all the different balance sheet information here, income statements. So you've got income statements. It looks like it's for a year, a little over a year. Cash flow, all the cash flow statements. This is very important information to look at if you're really trying to figure out the company. And you could actually take this information and say, okay, with this type of balance sheet in this time frame, or this income statement in this time frame, this cash flow in this time frame, or whatever have you, you might be able to go back and look at the news and see if they put offerings out, see how prone they are to do stuff that would affect the price negatively towards what you're trying to do, or if you're trying to short, maybe positively, for positive gains off of the downside. Then you've got peers, like I touched base on that with Microsoft. I don't even think Microsoft is listed in the peers, which is kind of strange. You would think Microsoft would be listed in the peers section here, but this is just not necessarily tickers that, like Microsoft, directly related to Apple, but it might be tickers that have a similar market cap or that have some sort of similar action to where they're priced together or linked together. Sono, I mean, I can tell you that is because it was a merger and acquisition for Apple. So it just depends on the, whatever the case may be. But it's a good list to look at as well. And then key data, you've got all your dividend and share information, balance sheet information, all that valuation, all that is listed here as well. And this would be more on the yearly side or total side, so to speak. Whereas you have financials that break it down based on the quarter, if you'd like, or the annual. So that's pretty much it for the detail screen. So like I said, it gives you a lot of research ability, so to speak, and you can really deep dive into a ticker with this. Highly recommend it. So that's kind of what you can do with Benzinga Pro, all in one. You don't really need to keep bouncing back to different sites for different information and stuff like that if you're trying to research something. So I went a little longer on this video than I thought I would. The detail screen does have quite a bit to go over, so I knew it was going to be a little bit longer. But Sorry, I do kind of ramble sometimes, so hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe once again, leave comments if you got any below. If you want me to talk about anything specifically that you use Benzinga Pro for and you're just not sure about, or you want me to touch base on, I'll do that as well. But other than that, Benzinga Pro link is going to be down in the comments as well. So if you're not using it, man, it's the best tool out there. This is my go-to source of information, and it's got a free trial. You can try it for 14 days with no obligations. You don't even need payment, credit card information. It's crazy. No company does that, and you will be shocked by the customer support. It is really, really amazing stuff. So, highly recommend Benzinga Pro. I'll be coming at you next with the calendar video. I'm hoping to get all of these videos done for the Benzinga Pro workshop this weekend. So I do apologize about being a little bit behind, but hoping to get everything done this weekend so I can move on to different topics and stuff like that. I really like to start doing stuff like the job and the job for SIRS case study that I posted earlier this week, or yeah, I think it was this week. But anyway, I really like to get into that and start going over indicators and stuff like that with you guys, and different trading strategies and all that kind of stuff. So I want to get this Benzinga Pro stuff knocked out this weekend for you, and so keep that in mind, and just get ready for all that action. And so thanks, guys. Have a good one.